Hey everybody, Robert from Black Belt Gaming. I've just gotten over a cold, so I thought I'd do a little filming again. And I want to give a big thank you to Mr. Lee, who sent me for Christmas this Antman expansion pack for Marvel Champions. Today, I thought I would try my first battle against Klaw, and that's going to be new. And I'm using Antman for the first time. Mr. Lee also included this neat little device here that allows me to sort of quickly flip around to all the different sides of the card. That's pretty awesome. Anyway, we're going to get started with Antman versus Klaw. So I'm getting to know Klaw. Klaw has a scheme of 2 and an attack of 0, which is interesting. But it says when Klaw attacks, give him 1 additional boost card for this activation. So I guess he's going to be flipping over 2 cards to make his attacks. So I believe we start with this. The attack on the shield facility has been linked to an underground weapons network. So I guess Antman is investigating. We're going to have Klaw 1 and 2, so we're not going with the expert at this time. I did load up in the deck the Masters of Evil, so we're kind of going with the default settings here. It says we need to search the encounter deck for the Defense Network side scheme and reveal it. Shuffle the encounter deck and advance to stage 1B. Well, here's the Defense Network. It says that Klaw's criminal enterprise is protected by a gang of hired thugs. So we're going to have to put, I believe, 2 threat on here plus an additional 1 since I'm playing solo here, single player. And it looks like we're going to have to get rid of this Defense Network before we can remove any threat from the main scheme. The main scheme appears to be the underground distribution. Your investigation reveals that Criminal Enterprise is operated by Klaw, an old rival of the Avengers. So we need to discard cards from the encounter deck until a minion is discarded. Put that minion into play, engaged with the first player. Alright, I've pulled back the camera a little bit. We have Klaw set with 12 hit points. And the underground distribution doesn't seem to start with any at this time. It looks like upon receiving 6 threat, that card will flip over, and then I think there's a second scheme that if that one fills, then we lose the game. So what did it say? We needed to discard cards until we receive a minion. And we don't have one yet. Weapons Runner, he's a minion, so he's going to be engaged with us. Let's start here with Scott Lang. Scott Lang is going to begin with a hand of 6 and 12 hit points. We've got him there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I think we're ready to begin our first game with Antman and Klaw. Alright, first time playing with Scott Lang. It says time to unwind. After you change to this form, heal 1 damage. Alright, not going to help us right here out of the gate. Starting cards. I'll pull back a little bit so we can see. I guess you need to play this in the giant form. After you change to giant form, you get +1 attack until the end of the turn. Moxie, after you change form, your hero gains +1 thwart attack and defense. Here is the Antman's helmet. After you change to giant hero form, heal 2 damage. After you change to tiny, draw 1 card. That looks pretty good. Team building exercise. Exhaust team building exercise and play a card from your hand that shares a trait with your hero, reducing its cost by 1. Okay, play a card from your hand that shares a trait with your hero. Alright, I'll have to keep an eye out on that. Seems I have 2 of those. And we have Ronin gets +1 thwart and +1 attack, while an upgrade is attached to them. Some kind of upgrade there. So this is an ally. I have to keep an eye out on what kind of upgrade we're talking about, but that's our starting hand. Well, I guess the thing I really want to get out there is Antman's helmet, and that's going to cost 3 to play. So I'll spend the 2 team building exercise and the Ronin to bring that in. So we'll make our discard over here. That leaves us with Moxie, which is a 0 cost, and Giant Strength. So what else do we want to do? After you change, you get +1 attack until the end of the turn. Well, we're engaged with this minion. I believe that was correct, right? Discard cards until a minion, put that minion into play, engaged with the first player. So he's got 2 health there. So let's switch over. I guess, do we have to switch over? Oh, this is tiny and big, so there's not like a normal size. This is normal size, I guess. So do we want to go tiny? What is better about tiny? Change form, remove 1 threat. He's 2/1/2. So what do we do if we go giant? If we go giant, we definitely get more attack and defense. Well, what is the attack here? After you change form, this is the change into giant form. Well, why don't we change into our tiny form first? We've just changed form, and at a cost of 0, we get +1 thwart, attack, and defense until the end of the round. So for his main action here, we're going to, it says after you change into tiny form, draw a card. We've got Power Gloves attached to an Avenger. We're an Avenger. After attached ally attacks or thwarts, deal 1 damage to an enemy. Okay. Well, I was going to attack. Let me think. I'm a little rusty here. All right, here we go. Antman. This must be his thwart form. So after you change to this form, remove 1 threat from a scheme. So we'll take 1 off the defense network. And then what will we do? Alright, why don't we play 1 resource and put on the Power Gloves. Then we will thwart with Antman. So we're going to exhaust Antman and thwart. That's going to be for 3, so that's more than enough to clear out and put a stop to the defense network. So that is, I guess that goes to the discard pile. So does anything happen in response to that thwart? After attached ally thwarts, deal 1 damage to an enemy. So this guy is going to take a single point of damage, and I think that's all I can do at this point. Kind of feel like our Moxie was kind of wasted there. I believe we straighten up here at this time, draw back to 5, and then we're going to head into Klaw's turn. and let's see what we do. Place threat on the main scheme. So he's going to get, I believe it's 1 here to start. The villain and each engaged minion activates. Let's start with the minion. Since I'm in hero form, the minion will attack. It says, after this card is revealed, something about surge. After this card is revealed, reveal 1 additional encounter card. So there's an encounter card waiting for us? Is that what that means? I guess my question is that resolved right away, or does that encounter card sit until the encounter card step comes? I'm not sure. Right now, I guess I'll just keep it there and have it come up later in the turn. He's going to attack, and Antman can defend. Let's check our cards and see if we've got anything to help us out. Call for aid, Moxie again, first aid. Discard cards from the top of your deck until you discard an Avenger ally. Well, he's going to be attacking us for 1. I don't think we'll do any defense against the weapons runner, so he will attack us. And let's see, they don't get boosts, do they? They just do that much damage. So let's go with a, what am I doing? A single point here on Antman. I think it takes him down to 11. And then Klaw attacks, and he's going to have 2 boost cards. That's 1, 2, and a star. What does that do? When Klaw attacks, give him 1 additional boost card for this activation. Forced response. After boost. Discard 1 card at random from your hand. I think that's what we're having to do. So I have to shuffle my cards here and discard 1 card at random. First aid. Alright, so we're hit for 2 damage and first aid. So we're going to go down to 9. Alright, then we handle an encounter card, and we've got 2 of these now. So the first one says, discard an upgrade or support you control. Well, this was an upgrade, wasn't it? Yep. Then we had Armored Guard. When this minion is engaged with you, you cannot attack the villain, and it has toughness. Alright, so we've attracted some attention. Alright, I think we're back over to Antman now. And at the start of his turn, let's have him go giant form. And let's check out and see what this can do. It says, after you change to this form, deal 1 damage to an enemy. Why don't we take the toughness off the Armored Guard and get that out of the way? So that's just for him switching over to the big side. Then, what do we have? After you change to giant form, heal 2 damage. So that'll take us back up to 11. There we go. And then we've got these call for aids and giant stomp. Giant stomp is looking pretty good right now. Why don't we pay 3 and do Giant Stomp? And that's going to deal 1 damage to each minion. So that will take out the weapons runner. And it'll do 1 damage to the armored guard. He still has 2 left. So I don't think that there's anything else I can do except do the rest of this damage to the armored guard. Because as a guard, we have to attack him first before we can attack the villain. Maybe there's another way I could do this. Let me rethink. Is there any other better tactical choice that I could do? We've switched over into giant form, and we can do 1 damage to an enemy. Now it says you cannot attack the enemy, cannot attack the villain. I don't think this is categorized as an attack, so I think the 1 damage can be done anywhere, and let me know if that's not right. So I'm assuming I could do this to him and take him out if I wanted to. If I do Giant Stomp. Alright, 1 damage to an enemy. I do think I want to knock the toughness off, so we are going to stick with that. But then I might go with an attack action. And if I exhaust him and do an attack action, I can take out the armored guard. He has 3, we're going to do 3 damage. Then I think I can pay the cost and do Giant Stomp, since I'm in form, and it does 1 damage to each minion. So I can do a damage to the minion and take him out. Then I think that clears the way for me to do 8 damage to an enemy. So we can hit Klaw and knock him down all the way to 3. I think that's alright. I guess we will finish it there. So we'll sort of ready up again and draw back to only 4 cards now. In this form, we've got another giant here. What is this? Giant Strength. The Strength card, Team Building Exercise, and Army of Ants. We do this when we're tiny. Okay. Silly mistake there. What did I do? 8 damage? That should be on 11 for us. That damage should have been done up here. So taking him down to 4. Okay, so Klaw's down to 4. Now we'll start it up with Klaw again. We put a threat on the main scheme. Then we're in our hero form. That means Klaw will attack us and get 2 boost cards. We have to decide if we're going to defend. We've got a defense of 3. Do I have any good cards to do anything? Maybe. So what if we defend? We're going to defend here. That's going to be when Klaw, let's say a boost. This activation deals damage to you. If this activation deals damage to you, exhaust your hero. Well, I'm actually already exhausted, so the boost here is another boost. Deal 1 damage to each hero. Well, it was a single point of damage, We blocked it with our defense. I don't think that that did anything to us. So we go to an encounter card, which is another armed guard with toughness. So I think that's it for Klaw. Let's go back to Antman. Antman is exhausted. And as we start his turn, maybe we can switch over now to his tiny form. And after you change to this form, remove one threat from a scheme. It also says after you change to tiny form, draw one card. And now we may have some choices. Army of Rats. If you are in a tiny hero form, exhaust Army of Rats. Deal 1 damage to an enemy. So we just need something to pay for that. Why don't we pay for that with this giant strength? We'll put down Army of Ants. Then what do we have? Team building exercise is a support. Exhaust it. Play a card from your hand that shares a trait, reducing its cost by 1. So we can play strength and break out team building exercise. And we should be exhausted here with Antman. Just got to be careful about that. The card's positioning in this thing is a little different. We exhausted ourselves by defending. However, if we're in tiny form, we can exhaust this to deal 1 damage to an enemy. So I think that could be Klaw, since it's not a direct attack. Or we could knock the toughness off of the armored guard. That may be a good idea. We'll get that off. And then it says call for aid. Discard cards from the top of your deck until you get an Avenger ally. And then add that one to your hand. So we have to discard until we get an ally. Here is an ally. And we can put him into play for free. Antman gets +1 point for each PIM counter on him. When Antman enters play, place 1 PIM counter on him to a maximum of 4 for each resource you overpaid for Antman's cost. Okay, when he enters play, place 1 PIM counter on him for each resource you overpaid for Antman's cost. Well, so if I don't pay anything, I don't get him? Is that how that works? I don't have any cards to pay for him. I was hoping it might be like a 1-cost thing and then I could exhaust team exercise and bring in somebody, but so if I exhausted this to reduce the cost by 1, it doesn't really count as paying 1, does it? Maybe I just want to hang on to this card. I don't think I really have enough to give him anything, which would give him 0 hit points. And then he would just be discarded as soon as I brought him in. That's what it looks like. That's weird. Okay, well that didn't work exactly like I was thinking. I think that's all we can do this turn. So we'll straighten up and we'll draw up to 5 cards. And we'll head on over to Klaw's turn. At least the armored guard doesn't have a a toughness on him. So the armored guard will attack us. And he's going to attack us for 1 damage. So we're going to take 1. And then Klaw is going to come after us. And we need to think about if we're going to defend or not. Why don't we defend? And let's see what kind of damage we're going to take. We've got a boost. Give the villain the tough status card. I'll just put that on Klaw there. And then his second one is 2 damage. So 2 damage, we defended for 2, so no damage to us. Klaw just became tougher. Alright, we're back over to Antman, who's currently exhausted and in his tiny form. We can exhaust this and deal 1 damage to an enemy. 1 damage to an enemy. Let's knock off the toughness here to Klaw. Get rid of that with the tiny ants. Then let's see what we want to do. We can pay we can pay 4 and bring in Antman with 4 hit points. That's what that looks like, +1 for each PIM counter on him. Why don't we do that? So we'll put 4 counters on him. Alright, we've got the counters on Antman. And then we have a choice here. Do we want to bring in this one or bring in this one? Play only if your identity has the Avenger trait, and we do. Stinger does not count against your ally limit. So we could do the team building exercise, right? Play a card from your hand that shares a trait with your hero, reducing its cost by 1. So we can exhaust that and bring in Stinger just as an extra ally to help us. Maybe I'll put that here. And then what else can we do? Just have first aid by itself. So no other actions, but we've got a couple of allies that might be able to do something. Well, let's see. Stinger. It says Stinger could attack for 1 and put a damage on the armored guard, and then Antman can attack for 1. By the way, we need to put a damage on Stinger too. And that will take out the armor guard. But then Antman is already exhausted, so I think that's all we can do on Antman's turn. Let's ready everything back. And we didn't change form. We could change form now if we wanted to. Why don't we switch over? Why don't we switch over to Scott's form? And after you change to this form, heal 1 damage. That'll take us to 11. And then hand size at the end of the turn is going to be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we'll straighten everything up. and we'll get ready to head into Klaw's turn. Okay, I think we're going to get hit by some heavy scheme this time. We start by placing 1 on the main. That gives us halfway there. Then Klaw doesn't attack us because we're not in the hero form, so he's going to scheme against us. And it's boosted by 1, so that does add another 3. So 3 plus 3 is 6, and that is enough to fulfill the 6 necessary to do something else with this. Alright, Secret Rendezvous. Klaw has found a buyer for his illegal weapons. It's up to you to stop the sale, but the meeting is surrounded by Klaw's cronies. Discard cards from the encounter deck until a minion is discarded and put that minion into play engaged with the first player. Alright, well, let's do that now. We need a minion. That's not a minion. That's not a minion. That's not a minion. That's not a minion. Nope. 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 Wow. Alright, Armored Guard. Another Armored Guard comes in to play. Alright, so after that we go to 2B. Let's take a closer look. Klaw is meeting with the Crimson Cowl. Klaw and the mysterious figure dart into the shadows when you confront them, and Klaw's minions move to cover their escape. If this stage is completed, the players lose the game. And he's going to need 8 to win this. And we still have Klaw on his first side. He's only got 4 hit points left, but we've got Klaw with 4 and his Armored Guard right in front of us. Alright, let's check it out. Okay, Scott Lang. We're gonna pay Army of Rats, and we're gonna put this reinforced suit on Stinger and give Stinger +2 hit points. So Stinger can actually take 2 more points of damage instead of 1. Then 3 resources, and we need 5 to bring him in. Giant Man. Don't really know Giant Man. Let's see. We don't have any threat to deal with right now, so we probably need to focus on attack. Let's see what our allies can do. Stinger is going to make an attack for 1 just to buzz and knock off this toughness. Antman. Antman can do 2 damage. How about, is there anything we've got? Nothing really to help us in giant form in this hand. Maybe when we switch forms it'll do something. Let's switch over to our giant form. Giant form allows you to deal 1 damage to an enemy. Let's do that damage to the guard. Then we'll have Antman make an attack. He's going to lose another counter, but he's going to attack and do 2 damage, taking out this guard. That clears the way for Antman. It said when we switch to the giant form, we can actually heal 2 points of damage, so we can go up to 12. That takes us back to full. So now we have an attack of 3 if we want to use it, and I think we do. Let's hit Klaw for 3 points of damage, taking him down to 1. So we've almost got him knocked down here. I don't know if I have any other way to get in Giant Man. I just don't have enough to bring him in. So I think we're going to have to end it there. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. No, I just don't see anything else. Let's ready up Ant-Man and our allies. Stinger in that, what is it, reinforced suit. Army of ants on standby. And how many cards do we get? 4. I'm sitting here with 4 in my hand already, so there's no change there. We're heading to Klaw next, going after his secret rendezvous. Alright, I'm back from a dinner break, and I need to pick things up again here with Klaw. Klaw's going to get a threat there on the main scheme, and since we are in our hero form, he's going to make an attack on us. Let me see if there's anything we want to do in response. Didn't have any cards change, and I'm in a great position to defend in this form. It's got a high defense, and I can heal with first aid if I need that. Let's not defend right now. Let's go ahead and take this. We're going to go with these 2 cards. Attack number 1 is put weapons runner into play engaged with you, and exhaust each ally you control. That's not good. So Stinger and Ant-Man are both exhausted, but we didn't take any additional damage, but we did run out of cards for our villain. So we're going to need an encounter card, so I think we're going to have to shuffle here, and I think we draw 2. Alright, not exactly right. What I need to do is put an acceleration token on the main scheme. And I can't open the bag. There we go. So that's going to speed things up toward his number of 8, which is not good. Alright, also with the weapons runner coming out, he has a surge. After this card is revealed, reveal one additional encounter card. So I think we are going to be facing 2 encounter cards here, one regularly and one that we would have gotten with the runner. So let's go ahead and take these one at a time. We have Whirlwind. He's a minion, so I think he's going to come into play. When Whirlwind attacks you, also resolve his attack against each other hero. And what's this one? Defense Network. Uh-oh. I believe this one is coming back out. His criminal enterprise is protected by a gang. So again, we're going to have to put 3 threat on there. And that's bad news, because we have an acceleration token on the main scheme. So that was a bit of a rough turn with the encounter cards there. Well, let's continue. Antman. Alright, I've got some things to carefully consider here. We need to hit threat. We need to thwart
as soon as we can. My allies are exhausted due to the combat draws that we took. So why don't we change form, and we're going to change form into the tiny form, and that's going to do a couple of things for us. We're going to remove one threat from a scheme. Well, I think we do have a choice here from a scheme. I'm going to double check what this means. I think it means that I can't directly thwart there until all of that is gone. Yeah, I think it's called crisis. So to remove a threat, it's got to come from here first. So I don't think I can take it off of there. Then, as a response with our Antman's helmet, when we change to tiny form, we can draw a card. Okay, that might give us enough to bring in Giant Man if we use everything. But let me take a look at this hive mind. Play only when you're in tiny form. Remove 2 threat from a scheme. Remove 1 additional threat from that scheme for each army of ants support you control. Well, we've got 1. We could put another one down. Getting rid of this threat is important. We don't want to stack up or we do lose the game. So alright. We can exhaust army of ants and deal 1 damage to an enemy. Let's exhaust army of ants and do 1 damage to Klaw right now. Klaw only has 1 hit point left. That takes him down to 0. So we're going to discard his first card here and move into his second. Let's take a closer look and see what it says. When revealed, search the encounter deck and discard pile for the Immortal Klaw and reveal it. And then you shuffle the encounter deck. Forced interrupt. When Klaw attacks, give him 1 additional boost card for this activation. I think that's the same. So he's going to start out with the Immortal Klaw in play. Alright, I found the Immortal Klaw. This is a side scheme, and it's going to have 3 threat on it. And is that an acceleration token? It says Klaw gets plus 10 hit points. When the scheme is defeated, he loses those hit points. Alright. Alright, that Immortal Klaw also had an acceleration token on its card, so I think he's getting an additional 2 for each round. His hit points are going to go not only up to 18 now, but he's going to go up to 28. Because he's the Immortal Klaw at the moment. That's plus 10 hit points. But if we can get rid of that scheme, it'll certainly help. Alright, let's see what else we can do. Alright, let's play First Aid as a resource. We'll bring in another Army of Ants card. And if you are in tiny form, which we are, we can exhaust and deal 1 damage to an enemy. So let's exhaust it, and we're going to put a point of damage on the weapons runner. Let's see what else we can do. This might be good now. Let's play these 2 as resources and play the hive mind as an event. Thwart. Remove 2 threat from a scheme. Remove 1 additional threat from that scheme for each army of ants you control. So that's going to be a total of 4 that we can remove. And I think all of that has to come from 1 scheme. Maybe we don't want to do that yet. Maybe what we want to do is let Antman thwart by himself and take down the defense network. So he'll take the 2 threat off of there, and he'll get rid of that. Then we'll pay the hive mind and take the thwart off of the immortal Klaw, which should take the extra 10 hit points off of him. So that's going to take him down to 18. And we've used pretty much everything we've got. And that's going to have to end it for us. So let's draw. Let's ready everybody up. We can finally ready up our allies. I think Stinger has 1 hit point left. 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're headed into Klaw's turn. So here we go. 3 more counters, taking us to halfway through the main scheme. That's not good for us. Then we go with minions and the main villain attacking. So we've got Weapons Runner. Weapons Runner's going to hit us for a single point, taking us down to 11. The Whirlwind. It says when the Whirlwind attacks, resolve his attack against each other hero. No other teammates here. So we're just going to suffer the 2 points of damage. So we're going to go down to 9. Alright. Now Klaw will attack, and he's going to draw that 1 additional boost card. So 2 damage plus nothing. That's going to be 2 damage to us, taking us down to 7. Alright, we're still in the game. Heading over to Antman in tiny form. Alright, we're currently in tiny form. Let's let our army of ants get to work. We're going to exhaust army of ants number 1 and do a 2nd point of damage to the Weapons Runner. I believe that's what they do. Yep. So he's taken out. Yeah, this guy has 6. Might as well just take him down as much as we can. Should we put that on Klaw? Because we don't have to attack this guy first. Why don't we hit Klaw for 1, since he's the main one we're after. We'll take him down to 17. We've got Stinger. Stinger's got 1 more action available. And I think I'm going to have her thwart. And that's gonna take one of those off. I can hear my 2-year-old screaming downstairs in laughter. Then Antman, let's Let's take one off him, and we'll have him thwart for another 2. So they're trying to manage this secret rendezvous. Alright, what else do we have? Antman's actions. Well, here are some of the cards I've got. I do have the Giant Stomp, which might be really good. That's going to take 3 resources to play. Got Wasp, these Pim Particles. I think you use this as a resource and then you get a little bonus from using it. So, but I need 3 to power this thing. 1, 2, 3. And then I could use the Giant Stomp, but I need to change form for that. Let's go ahead and do that, I guess. We're going to switch over to our giant form for the turn. And we deal 1 damage to an enemy. Let's go ahead and put that on Klaw, taking him down to 16. And then I'm going to spend Pim Particles. After you spend this card, heal 2 damage. Heal 2 damage from your hero if you are in giant hero form. Alright, so that's going to take us up to 9. We just changed form. I think we already did the point of damage there. We paid 1. Pay 2, 3. I'm not sure which ones I want to pay here for this. Resize. Is it good to resize again? What do I do if I resize again? Remove 1 threat from a scheme. That's not bad. Why don't we spend the other 2 here, although they're good cards. Let's do the Giant Stomp. Deal 1 damage to each minion. We're going to do 1 to Whirlwind. And then we do 8 damage to an enemy. We're going to take Klaw down to 8. So he's down halfway from 16. Got 1 little card left in my hand. We did change into hero form, and I don't think I used my helmet. So that should actually take us up to 11 on the dial. Now, I can change to one other hero form for 0. We can shrink back again to the small size. We get to draw a card, and we get to remove 1 threat. That's going to take all the threat off, which is great. But then that's about all we can do. But we get to draw up to 5 cards at the end of our turn. 3, 4, 5. We're out of cards now. And let me see the timing on this. I have the cards I need, but I'm out of cards. So we're going to be facing drawing an extra encounter card, but does that happen right now, or does that happen the next time I need to draw a card? Let me check. Alright, the ruling is as soon as you run out, you have to do this. So encounter card in waiting. We're heading back over to Klaw's turn now. That's going to be another 3 on the main scheme. And minions attack. First minion attacks for 2. Whirlwind hitting us, taking us back down to 9. Klaw will attack us. We can choose to defend. I think we've got 9. I think we can take this. Attack number 1 is 1 damage. Number 2 is 1 damage. So he hits us for 2 damage down to 7. Alright, we survived it. We're moving into encounter cards. We're going to have 2 of them this time. Encounter card number 1 says, attach this to Klaw. After Klaw attacks and damages a character, you stun that character. We can spend 3 of the different resources to discard this card. He has a sonic converter, so he's upgraded his weapon there. Sound manipulation. We're in the hero form, so take 2 damage, and Klaw heals 2 damage. So we actually go down to 5, and he goes up to 10. Klaw is a little tougher than I thought. Alright, we're heading into Antman's turn. Okay, got some options here. Let's see what our little excuse me, army of ants can do. We're going to exhaust both of those. And it's going to be 2 damage. 2 damage. I think I was going to do that to the minion, but now I'm thinking it over. Alright, I think I am going to have both of the army of ants gang up on the Klaw and take him down to 8. Next, I think I want to possibly upgrade. Let me think about this carefully. Alright, let me think. Let me see if I've got this. I might be able to pull this off. Antman, our ally, is going to not thwart, but he's going to make an attack. And I could play some resources and try to keep him in the game in case this doesn't work. I might spend one of these and give him the reinforced suit, which is going to give him +2 hit points. I'll just put him on there that way. But he's going to attack and lose a hit point. And attack Klaw for 2 damage, taking him down to 6. We're then going to play Moxie after we change form. We're going to change form to our giant form. And after changing to this form, deal 1 damage to an enemy. We're going to do that to Klaw, taking him down to 5. As a response, we can heal 2 damage, going up to 7. I like this helmet. This is nice. Alright, so we're in this form. We're going to play Moxie now. After you change form, your hero gets +1 until the end of the round. So we're going to attack for 4. That's 3 + 1 is 4. That's going to take him down to 1. And that's normally all I could do, but I'm going to play this as a resources for swarm tactics. And it looks like I can change to your other form and ready your hero. So I'm going to switch back down to my tiny form. I get to draw a card, and I get to remove a threat from a scheme. And it said I got to ready my form, as ready your hero as well. And I think, and I'm not sure if the Moxie is still active. I think it is until the end of the round. This would be an important question if he had 2 hit points, but my attack is 1 and he only has 1 hit point left. I'm assuming Moxie here would stay, but we're going to attack in our tiny form and finish off Klaw's last hit point. So I think that allows Antman to defeat Klaw and win us the game. Well, everybody, that was my first time playing both of these, Klaw the villain and Antman the hero. Again, a big thank you and shout out to Mr. Lee, who sent me the Antman pack for Christmas. Thank you again. I want some advice. How did it go? And did I make any mistakes? What do you think about this Moxie? It says after you change form. I did change form and I used the bonus, but I changed form again. Does that remove this, or do you continue with those bonuses? I'm assuming that they would continue. It says it stays with you until the end of the round, but just curious as far as what you may think about that. Would changing to an additional hero form somehow affect the use of this card and maybe cancel its effects? I don't really see a reason for it, but you know, sometimes we can interpret things differently than how they're meant to be. Well, thanks again for watching, everybody, and I will catch you later for some more gaming.